It's ready, and so are we. This is the San Carlos Computer Club. If you can hear me, you have tuned in on a Tuesday, just a little after 5, and this is our first in-person meeting. And everything has worked perfectly. This is the sober. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's the last Tuesday of October, the 24th, because plans never work as you plan them to. And I did not make it here the second Tuesday or the third, so it's the 4th. And actually, these in-person meetings are going to be a little sporadic because each month I'm going up to Phoenix to do work for a month. And so what we will be doing is switching to a virtual meeting on that week. And I can't tell you ahead of time which week that is. So I will probably be able to tell you which week it is the week before, the week prior. So we'll meet for an in-person meeting. I'll be like, all right, next week I'm not going to be here.
What were you working on?
A company called Lightspeed Networks. They do fiber optic splicing across the Phoenix area for big companies like Cox and Arizona Power. And I'm writing programs for them, which is kind of cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm still one of the only reason I took the job was because they assured me that nothing would change about my lifestyle. Except I have to go up for a week each month. But I get to continue to do the computer club. I can even be part of it. I keep asking Cheryl to host the virtual meeting when I'm in the office because it's just easier for me not to have to focus on the virtual meeting when I'm sitting in the office, but they let me hold the meeting while I'm in the office. I get to continue to run International Computer Solutions down here, so I'll still be offering consulting to our individuals that live here in this community, the businesses that work here in the community. The only difference is this once a week or once a month I go up for a week.
Except for when you go to Alaska.
Except they have also allowed me to continue to run the bed and breakfast. So they don't care if I'm in Phoenix for that week while I'm in Alaska running bed and breakfast for 4 months. I'm a remote worker, which is very cool. I've gotten really adjusted to it, and I don't know if I could go back. We are broadcasting now. It looks like we should be on YouTube. And we have Bill, Jim, Cheryl, Judy's with us. Yeah, I'm thinking on the, oh, we don't see any of these people. Why don't we see any of these people up here? What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong on this computer over here.
That one?
Because we don't see any of you folks online.
Are you at Tequilas?
We are. And give me one sec. We've had some technical issues getting set up, and I'm still trying to set up.
I need to see who's there.
Give me one moment, and you will know who is here. There we go. There's a tiled view keep. I think we've got that. So we got all our in person, and then let's go over to, oh, this isn't working yet. Hold on. There we go. Ray is with us, and Ann is with us. Good morning. I'm going to bring your view just slightly closer so people in internet land can see you guys. That's right. The usual suspects, right? Okay. I'm seeing myself twice. Let me turn this one off. Oh, that's not what I want to do. And Chester's with us.
Good morning.
Welcome, everybody, to our first in-person meeting in Tequilas back in San Carlos. I hope everybody can hear me okay. Is anybody hearing double or echoes or anything like that? This is the first setup. I'm going to turn this mic to be omnidirectional. Irving, shout out a hello.
Hello.
Did everybody hear Irving?
Very faintly.
Very faint. Try again, Irving.
Hello.
Is that better?
Get better.
Okay. I think we're all set. Oh, wait, I don't have my document open. Yes. They did. I think it was for my character more than anything else. Bring up this document. So, like every other week, I send out a document of possible topics for our meeting. And I will have it open in a second here. There we go. Possible topics.
You tried calling me?
And
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes.
And I am happy to go through anything I have put on this list with you folks, but as usual, I am much more interested in what you guys want to talk about. So is there any questions or topics out there here in this room or out there on the internet? Ray, you look like you've held on to a topic for the last 4 months.
When I go up to Tucson, I take my laptop,
Okay,
use my telephone as a hotspot.
okay.
I use a VPN. I have a new HP printer.
Oh boy. You got to get it hooked up to your hotspot, or you got to plug it in with a cable.
I do.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
why won't I?
Well, if you got it connected with a USB cable, then it's got to be something about the printer setup on your computer. Are you aware of the ability to select different printers from where you're trying, and you can see your printer there? Does it give you any message? There should be some kind of message like idle or error.
Yeah. Technologically, and I want to go grandchildren. Well, they don't. 9-year-old.
Well, I'm just muting Chester's connection right now just because he's bleeding through. But so you can't copy, so you can't hit a copy button on it and make a copy. Is that what you're saying? That's a pretty simple test to see if even the printer's working correctly. And you're saying your grandkids weren't able to make it work either. I wonder if it's broken. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing how like brand new broken stuff is sold. But say again? Oh, the internet that we're using is Tequilas? RV? No, it's Tequilas with a apostrophe S. Tequilas. It's not appearing in your Wi-Fi. There you go. And then the password, capital T Tequilas 123. Numbers 123. Chester, your ambient background noise is feeding through to our speakers here.
Okay, we've discussed this before, but twice in the last week I've been on Netflix and the big blue screen comes up and tells me my computer is locked and do not turn off my computer. And which is exactly what I did. I've done that before when I had a desktop and there was no problem. Of course, this time I'm on a laptop, and I was really concerned that I couldn't turn the thing off because it's got a battery. Well,
Right.
I worked at it and I finally got it turned off, and this is twice it happened. And after a while, I turned it back on, and away we went, no problem. So,
Chester, is it a Microsoft Windows blue screen that it's giving you?
Yeah, it's a blue screen, but it's got some writing on it. I just never take enough time to read what's on there. But and it also has a voice telling me that my computer is locked and do not turn it off if I don't want to lose control or something like that. And of course, that's
Wow.
exactly what I do is I turn it off.
Yeah, that almost sounds like malicious software.
Well, it hasn't happened in a long time. It hasn't happened since I had a desktop, which has been a year or so.
I would,
thought I'd bring it up again.
yeah, I would recommend making sure you do a virus scan on your computer, just a thorough scan. It's included with Windows. They have decent antivirus built right in. There's
I'm running Windows 11.
called the Windows Security Center.
I'll
You should
go in
have-
there and see. I'll go in there and check it.
Yeah, and it'll have the ability for you to do a virus scan, and I would just do a thorough one. I wouldn't do a quick scan. I would do a custom scan. You'd go under scan options,
Okay.
and under options, they give you these things. In fact, maybe I can broadcast what I'm seeing on my screen. This is the Windows 10 version, but it looks the same under Windows 11. When you're in Windows Security, I'm sorry, you guys can't see this, but they can see this. You click on scan options, and then it gives you quick scan, full scan, custom scan, Microsoft Defender offline scan. I would go with the full scan or the offline scan, because what you're looking for, if it's something that's happened before, could be really deeply rooted in your system, and it's just popping out occasionally. It might even be attached to a scheduler, so that like every 3 months it tries again to start up in your system, something like that.
I start out by going to security in my menu.
That's
Go to
right.
Security and then go from there.
That's right. Security Center, virus scanning, scan options.
Okay, good. Got it.
Yeah. And I think at this point, I also do something like download, well, I haven't used Malwarebytes in a long time. You been using Malwarebytes? I couldn't tell you if that's a good idea or not. I'm sorry. I haven't used Malwarebytes in over a year, and I'm not sure what its status is right now as far as a tool. So I'm not going to recommend it. But what I'll do is we'll keep a note of it, and I'll find out what's going on with Malwarebytes, if it's still a decent recommendation.
What were you recommending
I was
or not
recommending that.
recommending?
Yeah, I was recommending that he uses the Windows Defender software as a virus scanner. But
Okay.
then I was contemplating Malwarebytes, and then realized that it's been over a year since Jim, have you used Malwarebytes recently? Would you still recommend it for cleaning? Okay, so Jim knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it works very well.
Okay, good.
Those are the only two I use.
Malwarebytes and Defender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Windows Scanner. Both in 11 and on 10.
Okay, you hear that, Chester? So you might also want to download Malwarebytes and run that across your system just to make sure there isn't something embedded deep, some rootkit. And then I'd be curious to see a copy, because this is the only reason. I'd be interested in seeing a picture of the screen. If you get a chance, pull out your phone and snap a shot of it, because we should be able to look at the screen and determine whether it's a legitimate Windows problem or if it is malware that's doing it. If it's a legitimate Windows blue screen, in this day and age, that almost always means there's a hardware problem. And it could be because the software is having problems with the hardware, but most of the time it's because some hardware has failed.
It has audio that goes with it.
Audio that goes with it, does it beep?
I don't remember a beep.
Oh, the audio you're talking about, it has a screen reader. It's reading a message to you, is that right?
I don't know. I don't read the message. I just get out of there.
Well, I would be curious to know if, Jim, you've never had a blue screen on Windows 11? I would be interested in knowing if a screen reader is part of Windows 11 when it's...
Yeah, I can do a copy.
Yeah, if your computer, pull out your phone and just snap a picture of the screen.
Got it.
And just as a general rule of thumb, I think it is safer to turn off your computer than follow a rogue instruction you don't know from saying don't turn it off. And the reason I'm saying that is because the legitimate reasons to turn off, leave on, is that Windows has a system for collecting all the data and reporting it to Windows to try and help you find a solution. And that's fine if you know exactly what you're dealing with. If you know it's Windows doing it. In this case, the language sounds very strange for a Windows error. And the safest thing you could do is just turn it off, because what you're trying to prevent is some ransomware that needs time to encrypt your data. And so the reason it's telling you to leave the computer on is because it's cycling through all of your data, putting an encryption code in it that only their key can open up. So when it's finally done, you open up your computer and all your pictures are inaccessible, all your documents are inaccessible, you can't surf the internet unless you go and pay a ransom and they give you the key to give you access to your software. So I think at this level that we talk about in the Computer Club, if you can't 100% identify that message as a legitimate Windows message, you're better off ignoring the instruction to leave it on and just turn it off, which is what I'm assuming is going on with Chester. Is it's not legitimate. It's trying to buy time so that it can encrypt data on his computer.
Let me mention this, though. The first time it happened, of these two times, to turn off my laptop, you really have to hold the start button down for a considerable period of time until it does turn off. But when it started back up, when I started back up, it had to reload everything. It took about 5 minutes to start back up.
To recover from that?
Yeah.
That's, yeah. I would really be interested in seeing what that message is, if it's legitimate or not. Some of the and it's having to recover from not finishing. You're not, I don't think you're hurting anything, but what it's having to do is it's having to backpedal from whatever it was doing when you start back up. And so that could be what's going on, is that it's legitimate, it's making changes, you're interrupting those changes, and so it's pulling you out of those changes. Hey, Irving just joined us. Hi, Irving, welcome. Irving's just sitting right over here. That's right. Someone else wants to join this call, and Judy's got a question. Judy, what you got?
I do. So I have an app that when I try and click on it, it sends me to some kind of a verification screen. And I'm wondering on my iPad, okay, back up. It works on my phone, but it doesn't work on my iPad. So the company says, reboot your iPad. Yes, I did. So I actually installed the app. You know, it's always in the cloud. How do I clear out a cache like that on my iPad on an app? Is that something I can do?
On your iPad? No.
Through an app? Okay, no.
No, it's something you can do on Android, but the only way that has been documented to clear a cache on an iDevice is to uninstall the app and reinstall it.
And I did that, but you know, it never really uninstalls. It's in the cloud, so you just click on it and it comes back.
Well, yeah, but it is uninstalled from your device.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
Irving,
tried
can
that
I
too.
get
That
you to
doesn't work.
mute your speakers because we're hearing ourselves across it?
So that's what I thought, but then when they're doing their troubleshooting
help?
checklist,
No.
Yeah, but you should mute your microphone too.
Why?
I mean, yes, no. Just mute your sound system over there. I hit the mute button. No, your speakers. Just hit the mute button like you don't want to hear what's being played. Because you can hear through this TV and you can hear us in the room.
Primero.
Or turn your volume all the way down. We're still getting the hang of these in-person meetings again. First one
Okay.
back, 3
So
weeks
back to-
late.
Okay, back to my question.
That's much better. Thank you.
So when it's up in the cloud, I have actually deleted it. So when they tell me to go through their checklist, I have done all those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you've deleted it, it's been wiped off your
Okay.
device. Now,
Okay.
it's very nuanced because
Yeah.
you do have settings associated with these apps, and so
Yeah.
yes, a fresh copy gets downloaded. The cache is empty, but if your
Okay.
settings are the issue, then that could be a problem.
It's not really see, they did an upgrade it's my bank. They did an upgrade, and every time they do an upgrade, something screws up. So this is like a verification, but it
Okay.
never goes from you click on the app, it says verifying, and it takes me to a web page on Safari that there's nothing happening. And then you go back and it's still not allowing the app to open, but it works on my phone, not on my iPad. I'm
Well,
trying to tell them it is their problem.
Yeah, no, actually, the way you describe it, it sounds like something that's going to just start working in a couple of days.
I reported it on the 19th and it has not happened yet. So yesterday I sent an email through the system saying, perhaps a supervisor could escalate this issue. Because I get tired of answering this, they ask, what is your operating system? Is your device up to date? Who is your internet provider? Which to that one I wrote, that is really not your business. Just let you know that I work on fiber. I mean, why do they need to know my internet provider? It's their checklist,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, maybe they're looking for, it could be obscure. I mean, you could be writing the back of an internet that's writing the back of another internet, and because of the way they're distributing it, maybe it doesn't satisfy.
And does it have something
I can
to do
rationalize a question like that. I don't know if it's helpful or not.
Does it have something to do with the fact that I'm in Mexico?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, if they've implemented their security correctly, it shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah.
You kind of answered what I thought was happening, so.
You know what you might do though, just to verify that because they could use that as a reason not to help you,
Yes.
is if their policies say that you are supposed to be doing your banking with them from the United States.
No,
then
I've always done it. I've always done it down here.
Well, having it work and having it is two separate things.
And I don't
like
want
if
to
you-
mess it up. They go, well, since it's working on your iPhone, you can go ahead and make your deposits that way.
I've recently had a similar experience. I use a credit union in Alaska,
Mine's a credit union.
and I don't know what happened, but I've had it on my facial identification. So whenever I go to it, it does my face and it lets me into the app. And all it's doing is trying and getting my face and succeeding and trying and getting my face and succeeding and trying and getting my face and succeeding in this constant loop where it won't let me use the app. The iPhone using facial recognition, I had to take the phone and put the camera down till it stopped attempting to look at my face.
Wow.
And then from a side, I had to hold it off to, nobody on camera can see. I had to hold my phone off to the side and then press the button that says try other login, because every time it gets pointed at me, it tries to log in with my face.
Yeah.
And then I was able to manually log into the app, and I thought maybe miraculously this would have changed it. And my biggest fear is that I have to uninstall this app because I cannot install it from Mexico.
Oh, great.
The iPhone app for my credit union is only available from the US store. And if I'm outside the US, it's not presented as an option to install. Well, yeah, no, I could get a VPN and I could install it. I mean, I'm
Right,
just,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
I could do
Well,
stuff like that.
I'll keep bugging them because I think it's their problem. So
What's that?
anyway, thank you.
No.
And you're the one who advised us to?
Well, you needed TV. Right? I watch Spanish TV.
I don't. Or I do on the computer. And I find it very useful.
Redirect.
I think there's very good reasons that people should use a VPN. I mean, one is if you have no conscience of security, it's extra layer of security. Another is people get down here and they're put off by accessing the internet from Spanish. And by using a VPN, everything that comes at them from the United States. And then you've also got the added benefit of you're behaving as though you're in the States. So you can use Hulu, you can use Pandora, you can.
I've also found it valuable for foreign travel.
Yeah.
Particularly if you take a fire stick with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, I don't regularly use a VPN. I set up VPNs. I occasionally use one for certain things, but in general, I don't. Yeah, Irving.
So, again, I searched and I searched and I searched and I finally wound up providing to YouTube TV.
Oh, all right. And they just raised the price too. Did you get in before the price increase?
I canceled.
Oh,
And here's the reason why.
Okay.
It's down to the VPN. Well, I did. Well, I subscribe.
The movies or the productions that they get.
well, no, YouTube TV offers you a channel package and guide similar to DirecTV, but more extensive. I think it's got hundreds of channels.
The advantage of the TV that it's DVR. It's got some huge disadvantages. The big advantage is, let's say you want to watch a series. You click at one, you get the whole series in all the years. So it's in the cloud. Well, and it sounded, I mean, look, it's straight off, it sounded great. So I subscribed and I had it in Alaska and got all my stuff loaded. When I got down here to Mexico, they don't allow it. I tried to access it through my VPN and they seem to know. They won't allow me to do it.
That's interesting because
Cancel it.
yeah, because I've had experiences where people have been able to use YouTube TV without a VPN, but they couldn't. And then I've had other experiences where they were able to get their region by subscribing to a VPN that would connect into their region.
Well, Anchorage is my region.
Yeah. Did you try it? Which VPNs have you tried?
I only have it.
Yeah. Did you? Because I think I would do that. I would contact ExpressVPN specifically saying I'm using YouTube TV in Mexico.
Back on the market for a good streaming. After all my research and finally deciding I'm without TV except the garbage.
Well, the live streaming stuff, TV's pretty good, except down here it's in Spanish, so you got to use a VPN. I think the Plex stuff is good.
Well, Plex, but you can't record on it.
No, you can't.
Because I can't schedule for
I can schedule it so I can get episode 1 through 5 or
both sites and well. try that.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with a DVR feature, but the on-demand might satisfy a catalog of on-demand that covers what you're trying to record.
Dish only that didn't service this area. I was only get 12 to 3 7.
15-minute mark, just to let people know. I'm doing a Google search real quick on Roku TV DVR. Roku TV DVR.
Never called it that, but I can, like if I'm into a series, I can pick up episode number 3 with no problem on it. Not sure you can call that a DVR.
Well, as long as you can access it, doesn't matter how you do it,
Yeah.
and you don't have to get in live TV, then you're accomplishing it.
Yeah, and I mean, DVR is digital video recording. So whatever results in being able to bring up something that you specified ahead of time to watch later would probably qualify for DVR. What I'm seeing on a cursory search of Google, Roku TV, and DVR is that Roku doesn't have a recording system, but they do have compatibility with cloud DVR systems out there. So it could very well be a combination of a Roku and some other cloud service would give you what you're looking for.
So you think that 1.5 this?
I don't think that's the way it would work. I think it would be some odd service that would be doing your DVRs for you. Yeah. I think it would probably, the way this reads, I'm imagining some obscure service that just happens to cover the things you would want to recover, you'd want to record, subscribe to that service, and you'd be able to run it through your Roku. I think that's what we're talking about.
Pick a program, 1 minute. Say episode 1, episode 2.
Yeah.
Just click on that.
So this is slightly different. You're describing video on demand, a catalog of content that's out there, whether it's recent or old, that you can start and watch whenever you want and stop it whenever you want. And
Oh, no.
what was the question?
Yeah, it's a subscription. I don't
Oh,
believe so.
Roku TV is not.
No.
Well, only in the, they do have your information. You can't use Roku without having an account. So you have to sign up for the account. You have to sign in with the device.
So do they have ads?
Yes, they do. The Roku TV has ads, and I would imagine the on-demand. I haven't used the on-demand, but I would imagine there are ads that show up there
That's no
too.
worse than commercial TV with going.
Fine.
What?
Generally, I found the ad sequences are shorter. Get 10 seconds of something.
What I don't appreciate about Roku is the platform is not very extensible. One of the reasons it's so tight and solid and fast and works so well is because they have lots of constraints on their providers, their app providers. And that's a plus for like an Apple, like making a really sophisticated product that's sleek and works when you grab it. But it's not great when you want to do various things. You want to hack around with it. And one of those things that we've enjoyed doing is running this software Streamio and Kodi for watching videos and TV shows. And you can't put those programs on a Roku. The best you could do is run those programs on a separate computer and stream them to the Roku. So you'd actually be doing 2 devices.
What about these I guess they're illegal or bootleg services that people have, like Fire Stick? Someone here says.
Well, it's one of the reasons that I really appreciate the Fire Stick platform is because you can put these kinds of softwares on them. And so I think the Fire Stick is an ideal streaming platform It's robust. It supports very sophisticated apps. It's fast. It gives a great experience. Roku is fast and gives a great experience because it constrains all this stuff. The Fire Stick stands out amongst other devices in the same price range as being a superior product because of its speed and its ease of use.
Can you use a Fire Stick on a Roku?
TV, that's my favorite combination.
Oh, okay.
Is you get a Roku TV and you have access to all the things Roku has available to you, and you get a Fire Stick and you plug that into it. Now you have access to everything that Amazon can give you. So you get the best of both worlds.
So in other words, say for my other setup with the Roku TV, I shouldn't buy the Roku stick, but I would be fine with the two bucket.
Yeah, you shouldn't need to if it's a Roku TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just get an
And another thing that's really nice about doing it that way is that the Amazon Fire Stick you can just pop out and take with you on travels. Yeah.
They're inexpensive, and Christmas is coming, so they'll be on sale.
It's really the price point and the performance that sells those Fire Sticks. Oh no, they're like, yeah, $50 regular price, but you can find them on sale for $39 all the time. You could probably find it for $39 alongside a $20 Echo Dot, right? You package them together. But I really think the equipment is just superior for the price point, the kind of performance you get out of it. What you want though is you want to always be looking at the 4K. If you're looking at Fire Sticks, it must say 4K for it to be what I'm talking about. Anything below the 4K is what they dubbed as the original or the international, and the performance is a completely different game. There's a lot of hurry up and wait. You press a button, press the button, press the button, and you watch the screen, and then you watch it go.
So that's built into the device itself.
That's a device issue. And the 4K and higher give you a great experience.
You need 5K.
No, the 4K. There is no 5K. The 4K and higher. It's a 4K or a 4K plus or a 4K ultra, right? But that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The higher price point, $10 more than the lower price point, does a hell of a lot more.
What else does it do? I didn't see anything different except the remote control.
$10 different. I think it has more something.
I didn't see any more storage capacity. I didn't see any more RAM.
It had more storage, and I think it had a little more RAM. I just read an article on it.
Well, we'll have to check that out because
Troy Point,
the,
read an article on it.
I'll check it out again. The last time I looked at it, I didn't see any reason to pay any more money. But again, if you're buying down here, you're limited to what's being sold in the market, so the higher ones may not even be available at a reasonable price. What I'm saying, Irving, and I'll stand behind, as long as it's a 4K version, you're going to be happy with the performance. Hey, you folks out there in our virtual meeting, does anyone have any other topics they'd like to bring up? I don't see any hands up, and you're so quiet, I can't tell if you're hearing our discussion. Yeah, everything's good. Jim, I see your face.
We're good.
I see Judy's nodding approval. Okay. All right.
I have something, Scott.
Questions. Did you say something, Pop?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I'm still having problems with my other computers, so.
Oh, we need to get together and find out what's going on with that.
Yeah, if you would find some time for me, I'd appreciate that.
And it's the new one that's the problem.
No, it's the old one.
It's the old one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. That means the new one's working.
New one's fine. I'm on it now.
All right. Well, it has been a crazy week, so we will probably get together later this week.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Thanks.
Okay. Cheryl, I see your smiling face. Did you want to contribute?
I just wanted you to know that I'm still here and I'm listening and paying close attention.
Oh, good.
we've had housekeeping come to the room and all this kind of fun stuff, and Bill's now on the telephone call. But yeah, we're here and learning stuff. I've been having a heck of a time with my wonderful HP laptop, and we keep using Glary and CCleaner, but we keep forgetting to try Bitdefender and Malwarebyte, so we will get those up and going again soon.
Bitdefender is not what I was recommending. It's Windows Defender that I was recommending.
Okay, yeah.
And Bitdefender is an antivirus that has had a great reputation. And before Windows had such an adequate antivirus, I would very quickly recommend Bitdefender. But there's no need to use a third-party antivirus in Windows any longer.
Okay, well, I use my Windows security, like the one little thing, I don't know if it's called Windows Defender or whatever, and it keeps telling me everything's fine, but it's slow and I get blue screens.
Well, if this is the computer I think it is, you are in the market for a new computer.
I know you keep telling me that, but I can't decide if I'm going to go with just another tablet. I've been looking at the Chromebook, and I'm not sure which way I'm going to go.
Well, have you looked in the Walmart, just not without any thought in mind? I need to replace a computer. The last time I was in a Walmart, they had a line of Acers, HPs, Dells. They were selling for under $200. That would replace your computer, the one I'm thinking of, and most people's computers that they bought over the last 10 years. If they're still working with a computer that they bought 7 to 10 years ago, they could easily replace it with a more sophisticated computer running Windows 11 with a solid state hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM, and these computers are coming in under $200, which, I mean, they're under $200 computers. So if it dies in 2 years, that's not going to surprise you, right?
So it's funny you mentioned Walmart. One of the casinos we play in, starting on November 1st, which we will be around for about 8 days in November, playing in their computer. Every $25 that we earn in points, they're going to give us a $50 Walmart gift card for.
Oh.
So I will.
So you're a fourth of the way to a computer.
And I still have 2 from last year. So I've got $200 to spend at Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't have sales tax on it, but I was in Walmart in Phoenix just last month, wandering through their computer section. And what I think it is I think it's an indicator. Windows 12 is on the horizon. And one of the things that Microsoft is making pretty clear is that even though Windows 11 was hardly a bump in hardware, it was almost embarrassing how you did not need any new hardware to run Windows 11. They put an artificial constraint in it so that if you wanted Windows 11, you were going to buy a new computer, but quite literally, you did not need a new computer. They just put an arbitrary security criteria that said if you didn't meet this particular stat, then you couldn't be Windows 11 compatible. What they've said about Windows 12 is making it very clear, and this is because of the AI stuff, that Windows 12 will be angled towards using neural processors, which is something that's not in your computer right now. It'll be heavily leveraged with AI technology, which is not in your computer right now. And so when you're looking at a Windows 12 computer, you are going to be looking at a dramatic leap in technology. Whereas when you look at a Windows 11 computer, you're not. The Windows 11 computer is as sophisticated as the Windows 10 computer was. Even if you just bought the Windows 10 computer, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that technology can run Windows 11 effectively. So it's not an indicator of any change in technology. Whereas Windows 12, when it hits the market, is going to be a fundamental indicator of change in technology. And you'll have to buy another new computer.
We have less than 1 minute.
Yeah. these $200 computers I'm describing are not going to run Windows 12. Or if they do, what's this?
We're going to die. We're going to end in less than a minute.
Oh, the call's ending. The call's ending. All right, this will take me a moment to get organized because I got to do it on 2 different computers. So bear with me. We all got to move over to the next meeting. Oh, good. Oh, I got to turn something off because I'm echoing. There we go. No more echo. No more echo. No more echo. And I get this out of my way. And we've got Jim and Cheryl. Did I miss some people? Are there some people waiting to get into this meeting?
Well, we had a few before, Judy and Terry and Chester, but I don't know, like, Chester sometimes comes to the second meeting, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think typically. I hate to move on without people trying to get in, but I don't see anybody trying to get in right now. Oh, Irving's not with us either. The link, you would find it, Irving, in the email that I send out in the morning. It's the second link.
Yeah, Jissy Boxy.
Well, no, you said nobody else had a speak.
I want to turn off this. I want to minimize this over here because nobody needs to see my smiling face over here. I want to make this our main up here so you guys can all see what's going on there. And I want to turn off my camera because I find that distracting. Yeah, probably doesn't matter. Not that big of a deal. Okay.
Oh, there's the club.
There we go. There we go. That's everybody that's in. Actually, that's a pretty good combination there. We can see everybody that's online. We can see ourselves.
I like it. I'm just
Dad's
wondering.
coming in. Chester's coming in.
I'm just wondering if Mike Miller knows that you're doing your back to the live ones now, because I think he's in San Carlos.
He is. He actually contacted me for some help. I'm surprised that he didn't show up today. I just assumed he would.
Okay. So you were talking about the new technology and the old technology and the Windows 12 and the Windows 11.
Okay. So this is my prediction based on my experience with Microsoft. What they've done is they've created an artificial constraint to make computers compatible with Windows 11. So even though you have an old computer, even though it could run Windows 11, they said no, it won't, for no particular reason. An Apple. They could have easily said, if you want to run Windows 11 without this security, it's compatible. But instead, they say it's not compatible. And so for it to run Windows 11, you have to have a hacker, somebody like me, make some changes and get it installed. Yes, you do. It's okay, a hacker like Jim.
All you do is when you set it up, when you go to install it, you write setup/product server, and it installs without the CPU and without the TRM or
checker. Right. And then what they say is they don't guarantee any security updates. I don't know if you caught that, but basically Microsoft washes their hands of you, and you're on your own every month, whether you get security updates or not, whether you get software updates or not. They basically say you're on your own.
So far, you're getting them all, and you're on your own anyway with Microsoft.
Yeah.
You ever try to report anything to
Okay,
them?
but remember, Jim, you're a different computer user than Ray is. Ray is not going to install Windows 11 on her old Windows 10 computer.
No,
That's-
I'll wait for a kid to buy me a new one.
And the point that I was making with Cheryl is that these computers for $200 are Windows 11 computers. Now these they've been released. All these Windows 11 computers have been released. They do not have neural processors in them. They do not have artificial intelligence thought about when they made these computers, but they are so new, Microsoft can't afford to tell you that they won't be compatible with Windows 12. So they are going to be compatible with Windows 12 with an exception. You can't do this stuff. They're going to say artificial intelligence is not, the neural processor is not available, but yes, you can run Windows 12. Oh, here comes Bill. So that's my prediction for the future. We'll see what happens. I've got a feeling I'm right, though.
Bill was just yelling, "Let me in." I don't know if you let him in yet.
I did. I hit the let me in button.
I'm
I'm hitting it again.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. So yes, I think that's the caveat for buying a new Windows 11 computer now, is that it is almost impossible for you to buy one that would be Windows 12 compatible. They don't have that product out yet. When that hardware starts to come out, that's when they're going to release Windows 12. And so if you're buying a computer right now, I kind of feel like buy the cheapest one you can handle, because when Windows 12 comes out, you're going to be buying a new computer anyway. So you want to get by this period of time. Your computer is so antiquated at this point, you'd much rather throw it away and get one of these $200 computers, knowing that 3 years from now, you're not going to keep using that computer. You're going to be buying another computer then. And you're going to be buying it only if you care about this artificial intelligence stuff, which I suspect within 3 years you will, and you won't even know it, because we're going to drop the AI and it's just going to be computing. And so when you stick in a computer, when you stick a picture into your computer and you go to Photoshop, you're going to do things like make it pretty, and it's going to be prettier. And you're not going to know how it made it prettier. It's just going to make it prettier. And you're going to point at the stranger that got into that photobombed, and that stranger's just going to disappear. And the caveat is you're not going to do that with a Walmart $200 computer you bought. You're going to do that with the brand new computer that was sold with. Does that make sense? I
still have to decide what I want to do with the laptop computer, if I'm going to buy a laptop computer, because I'm finding, like, I have my iPad and I have my iPhone, and I don't know if I need anything else.
Yeah. I think that's a genuine place to be right now. I don't think Windows has done a very good job or Microsoft has not done a very good job of making it clear why somebody still needs a Windows desktop computer in their life, or a laptop computer. I mean, if we're going into form factors, I don't think that they have defined the characteristics of a general consumer as using these computers any longer. Yeah. I think between your iPhone and other options out there, I think Chromebook makes a lot of sense. I think the $200 Windows 11 computer from Walmart makes more sense than a Chromebook, because it's cheaper than a Chromebook.
And it's an operating system that I know and all this, and I know how to work with it. So you could be right.
So if it's business as usual, that's a really cheap price tag.
Okay, because also I'm very upset with Google still. So
I find the Chromebook stuff really, really fascinating. I think it makes a lot of sense for folks. If you can spend a lot more money on a Chromebook. Most people don't need more than a Chromebook. It's a great general purpose computer. They're typically more durable computers. They have specifications that their hardware manufacturers have to meet to be considered a Chromebook. One of those is a 10-hour battery life. So if you're buying a Chromebook, you should know that regular operating should be about 10 hours. All right. Touch screens are a must on Chromebooks. So you're getting a touch screen. Yeah, a stylus. You can find ones that sell styluses with them, so you can use it for art if that's the thing you're doing. But they're fairly sophisticated. Now that they support most Android apps, that's a huge ecosystem of applications that are available to you in a Chromebook. But that being said, there are no real good $200 Chromebooks. You have to get up above $200 to get a decent Chromebook, which is a cheap price compared to a decent Windows laptop, except for this exception that's happening right now. I don't believe you're going to see $200 laptops at Walmart anymore. I really feel like this is that gray area in this transition where there's product out there to sell, even though they know it's not going to be compatible with what's coming down the pipe later. It reminds me of the netbooks. You remember when the iPad first hit the scene and none of the PC makers had anything to compete with it? So they started building these really low-end laptops at the same price as a tablet. That's kind of the area we're in right now. Well, we have reached, how long? How long have we been doing this? I think we're close to an hour, right?
11:02.
It's 11:02 now. Oh, and I'm at 59 minutes of streaming, so we couldn't be closer to an hour. I did bring a couple of topics that I thought you guys would find interesting. One is one of the co-founders of Pluto TV. If you Pluto TV, this is a place to get streaming live TV, advertisement based. It's an application. You can download it in your Roku. You can download it in your Windows. You can download it on your iPhone and on your Amazon Fire TV, and it's actually pretty decent. I use it without a VPN, and here in Mexico, all the programming is in Spanish. So I recommend a VPN if you're going to use it. One of the co-founders of this, it's been very successful. They've got a lot of advertising revenue coming in. They found that people are liking this model. And so this co-founder has started a company called Telly. This got announced back in May, and they are giving away 500,000 free TV sets that they have designed themselves. These TV sets are 55-inch TVs with a dual monitor that sits below the TV. So you have a 55-inch TV, 4K, and then below it is a large rectangle monitor that holds at times the controls, like showing you your volume, showing you your color and contrast and things like that, or the apps that run on this TV, but it's also used as an advertising window. So throughout the time period that you're using this TV, advertisement will blatantly come up on this other screen. They're giving these away for free. They are higher quality CPUs, more memory, more storage, more capabilities than your typical TV in the market. And their thought being, I listened to an interview with this guy, and he says their thought being that people are already being tracked and they know it. And they're getting frustrated with it because it's being done discreetly, but it's not discreet because the whole world knows. You buy a TV right now and you know you're being tracked by that TV. So what he's saying is we're going to make it very clear we're tracking you. That is part of the value proposition. You are agreeing that this is going to be used for advertising and it's going to track your behavior to try and give you better advertising. If you're the kind of person that would sign up for that, then you're going to get this great TV set that hopefully you don't feel like replacing. Hopefully they will have other offerings to come across the TV.
Let's take you putting a drop off on something over it and just ignoring it.
It's nothing. And that's one of the things that they well, and truthfully, they are using that second panel for fundamental parts of the TV as well. So I imagine it's difficult to drop cloth it for very long. Yeah. I imagine there will be at some moment during using the TV, that time you turn it on and you're watching it, before you turn it off, there will be an opportunity where you're like, oh, I want to be able to, and you have to pull that cover off. You've been ignoring the advertising, but now you have to pull it off to do something. I think that's intentional. I think I think he's being very open and honest with the way that they're going to use this second display. There's a camera built into it. Yeah, and what they've done, one of the reasons that they've increased the processor that you don't find on the TVs. They've got a better processor, they got more memory, they got more storage, and they've got the camera, is because they're offering it as a video teleconferencing platform in the box.
So somewhere, somehow, somebody is watching 2 feet in the nose watching your television screen. They know what you're watching. They're watching you.
No. What they're saying is that you can use this for your remote work. You can have your meetings, your Zoom meetings with the people that you participate with.
There's no guarantee that
Again, they are making it clear this device is tracking your behavior to feed you advertising. So you have to already accept that as okay before you put this in your house. And then the caveats that people ask him about are things like, well, what's to stop them from taking this and sticking in the guest room and having it just gather dust? He's like, we're hoping they don't. And there is a stipulation in their clause that you sign up for. If they feel like this is not being used in the manner it was expected, they can ask for it back. You have signed some agreement that do say, right? They say everything's anonymized, which is what you should expect from all these platforms. And they're not saying we're following Ray Mahoney and her activities. They're following the activities that have been accumulated from all these TV sets to get an idea of what people are doing, and then very specifically targeting advertising at individual TV sets based on what those TV sets are doing. Now, this could be a real boom. I've heard people in the past say, well, if the advertising is relevant, then it wouldn't bother me. And it's never relevant. I just bought that thing on Amazon. Why does it keep trying to sell it to me? Right? But the closer you get to relevancy, the more helpful this stuff becomes. And I immediately started thinking about this screen in my bed and breakfast. I put it up in Anchorage. I put it up in the common area where people are looking for something. They're looking for a YouTube or a local programming or something like that. They'll watch a little news. And there's this little screen underneath it. Well, if that screen starts popping up Russ's flying trips, glacier flying trips, or Matanuska Glacier visiting tours, it really starts to make sense in my business to have that screen, because they're able to use it for what they need a screen for, and they're getting relevant advertising. They're new in my town. They don't know what to look for. It's like having those brochures sitting in a rack right there in the living room for them to, oh, there's Russ's, there's Glacier Tours, so it kind of starts to make sense. And as a higher quality device, people would be tempted. Like you're not, everything is price constrained. So when you go out and buy a TV, and the TV you're looking at, oh yeah, it's got a camera in it, it's just $300 more. You're like, well, I don't want a camera in the first place. Somebody could use that to spy in on us. But when they hand you a TV that is easily $500 more expensive if you were buying it yourself than the one you would be considering, and these features are coming along with it, well, then you don't seem to mind as much. It's like, oh, wow, I just got this $1,500 platform I normally would have budgeted $500 for. I'll take all the nice equipment with it, knowing that I'm being tracked and they're going to try and send advertising to me. In this case, it would be my customers, or it would be the screen used by customers. That's what it would be doing. And they wouldn't, I can't imagine they would care. They don't care about Ray Mahoney. They care about the activities that are happening across that screen and putting out relevant advertising on that screen for those people. Oh, absolutely. But that's their point. When you hear this interview, you are being used. The difference between this company and the other companies is they're saying, yes, we're using you. This is what we're using you for. I just find the whole concept, well, a little revolting, because this is the world that we're living in now. Advertising is everything. Advertising is dictating everything. But until we change...
Morally a difference between the brochures and the tabletop, which you can select customers to look at.
Yeah.
As opposed to being bombarded visually, audially.
Sure. But remember, this is not interrupting what you're watching. This is a separate display below the display.
So it is a distraction.
Yeah, it could be, or it could be like the banner ads that we've learned to ignore every time we go to a website. We just don't know. This has not happened yet. But what I do know is that if you download the Tele app, you can sign up to get one of these TV sets. I have already tried, and they're like, we're not offering it in your area. So I need a VPN.
I've got a VPN and an address.
I really am curious, and so I'm going to try pursuing it to see if I can get one of the screens for the bed and breakfast, just to see. I wish them luck. I hope they're successful. It would really change the way the whole market works. One of the reasons our TVs are so cheap right now is because they're tracking you and they're using that data, and they're not making you part of that equation at all. That's the big difference here, is they are making you part of this offering. And I'm just first off by saying, you don't have to buy the equipment. I mean, it is a bit Big Brother. It's like, no, you don't get to buy your TV. You have to have this TV. But it's a shakeup, and it'll be interesting to watch. So there's a link in this document to an article from May, I think it was from May, that talks about this offering. And there is a great interview. I didn't put the link here, but I should in our recommendations under podcasts, with the Vergecast did an interview with the CEO of this company. And he gets into all these questions you're asking me. It's like he's got these great answers for, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. We are going to be tracking you. We're making it very clear we're tracking you. I just want them to give me an electric car like that. Just hand me a Tesla, and you can put as many advertisements as you want on the screen. I'll drive around surfing the internet, letting it drive me around, and I'll watch the advertising. Take care of my maintenance too. I don't like living in a world where advertising is everything. I don't. I believe that we're really trying to figure out a way to make our way in this world where everything is advertising.
It's disturbing. Young people, that this absolute lab requires.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, young people are quick to set up accounts, fictitious accounts, to get things done. They're quick to sign up for subscription services for 30 days free and immediately sign out of them when the 30 days are done. Young people are very sophisticated with this stuff. As much as I know, I still find myself going, oh, I'm still paying for that? I've got a Vonage line I'm still paying for. I haven't turned the Vonage on in a year. I'm still paying for it. And every time I go to make that phone call, which I know is like a 45-minute phone call to get canceled, I come up with some rationale for why I should probably not bother. You know what I should do is I should ask my daughter to do it. Would you just go cancel our Vonage?
It took both myself and my daughter 3 or 4 phone calls in a good at least hour to cancel DirecTV. Because I could not remember the original address for the original subscription. It was around the 80s, for crying out loud. And it turned out to have been a mail service in Scottsdale. It came in Osborne. I finally remembered Osborne, and the woman clicked on it, and it was okay. But
But what you're describing is essentially the thing we run into all the time canceling services. For security purposes, let's verify your account. And what it really is because you can't remember the details, we don't have to cancel your account.
You tried Google Voice?
Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
I just assumed they would cancel that out.
Oh, you can buy the modems. You only buy the modem once, and it rings.
I didn't even know they had a modem. I thought it was purely a mobile service.
No, they have a modem you buy.
Huh?
And it rings on my modem in Tucson. It rings over my Magic Jack down here. It rings on your
Right, yeah.
my phone, my wife's phone. It's great, and you can text and send pictures and everything you can't do with the Magic Jack.
Yeah, you can do those things on Skype, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. This is all free too.
Yeah, well, the modem wouldn't be free, but yeah.
$19.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know they had a typical, I didn't know they had an interface for typical equipment. I thought it was all cloud-based.
Yeah, it's great, and it works fantastic.
Scott, I can't quite hear Jim. What is he talking about?
Jim is recommending Google Voice as a phone service. And one of the advantages, or some of the advantages he was stating, was how it will ring multiple phone lines, like it'll ring his cell phone, ring his Magic Jack, right? He's got a Google Voice VoIP modem that allows him to plug a regular phone into it and plug it into the internet, so he can just pick it up in his house like it's a phone line, just like Magic Jack or just like Vonage would.
But you do all the other things you can't do with it.
That was the other thing he was mentioning, is that you can send text messages through the phone line. You can send pictures through it like it was a mobile phone. Google Voice. I've used it in the corporate setting where like you've got this PBX in the cloud and it routes phone numbers to everybody's mobile handset. Their personal phones are being used as Google Voice extensions. Been around for a while. Been popular. Google Voice. So I brought 2 other articles with me I thought you guys would find humorous. Did you guys see that Elon Musk offered a Wikipedia $1 billion to change its name? Dicklopedia. Elon Musk has this ongoing dispute with the head of Wikipedia, which for some reason I can't remember his name at the moment. I should pull up this article. Because Wikipedia has survived on donations alone, and so they have donation drives throughout the year that are very similar to like a PBS drive. And you guys have probably been on Wikipedia while that was going on. They're trying to get them to donate money. Jimmy Wales is his name. I couldn't remember it there. And Musk is notorious for trolling whales, saying that his website shouldn't require that much money and that he's just living off the earnings of people donating. And Wales has refuted that. Wikipedia being financial records are online to be read. And so you can go and you can see exactly where all this, Wales says that Wikipedia takes a $186 million a year to run, which is a huge number. But he also refers to the amount of page edits that are happening per day, per a month, per a year, the amount of contributors, the way the platform works, and it's all broken down. So Wales feels like it's very legitimized this expense cost for a nonprofit. And Elon Musk is like, no, it's not. And if you need that kind of money, change it to Dickopedia and I'll give you $1 billion. The article is here in the document that I passed you guys in email last night. You're welcome to check it out yourself. It is very humorous because it's one more notch in the Elon Musk is crazy belt. It's funny how we've gone from Iron Man to conspiracy theorist. I don't think buying Twitter has done much for him as far as his image.
Aspect to extreme. But he's nuts.
Yeah. I think you would probably maybe madness sits higher than genius because there's a lot of bright people out there that aren't as nuts as he is. Well, and what he's really been is he's been a really good businessman, and that's what people forget. He bought Tesla. He sold PayPal. That's where he got all this money. Yeah, but he bought Tesla. I wanted to say, but I guess SpaceX is where he put all the other money. That's one of the only companies that he has that I guess he was one of the founders of. But he's definitely not a rocket scientist. The rocket scientists get tired of hearing his input. Well, the other article that I brought, and we do need to start wrapping this up, is Microsoft. We have talked about this before. This is a fairly recent article about their Project Silica. We've talked about it before. This is storing data on glass. And I was reading this again. This is a recent article. It's from October. But I was reading through this Project Silica in this recent article. And what I found fun is they've got a video on here talking about it. And so I would encourage you to go check out this video. And the thing that I didn't realize until this article was that the library of glass is like bookshelves of planes of glass. If you see it up there on the screen right now, this is the bookshelf of glass. If you can see it up there. Let me get some of this. Let's see if I can get a better, where can I do this better? Let me find a better way to do this. How's that? Is that easier to see? Can I zoom in there? Maybe that's easier to see. You see, it looks like bookshelves. And those are all planes of glass. Each one of those pieces of glass can hold 7 terabytes of data. And the video goes into how they etch into the glass, how durable glass is, why they see it as the future. And what really amazed me in this was this device that you're seeing. Well, let me bring back that other picture. This device right here that you're seeing, that is the intelligence of this system. They are robots that traverse these rails going up and down to find the piece of glass like you think about an old jukebox would find an album. These things move on those rails, self-perpetuated, looking for the piece of glass the requester needs, grabbing it like a jukebox and sticking it into a player. The player is an electronic microscope that actually zooms in on the data and turns it back into digital so that you can read it on a computer.
So this is extremely rapid.
Well, it's extremely condensed data. It's a lot of data, and it's stored in a fashion that should last hundreds of years. And so that's the point of this. The point is that when you have archival information, we have not had a decent technology except for paper. It's amazing to think about. I used to argue against it, but it is true. CDs, magnetic devices, everything we have come up to replace with paper has not lasted as long as paper. Books, scrolls are still around, but my floppy disks from the 80s are not. They not only are they not around, if they were, I have no way to read them. And if I could, I wouldn't be able to read them because climate will have destroyed them because they're so fragile. This is what Microsoft has come up with. And they've been working on it for years now. And it's still not ready. They say this is still in its experimental form, but they've been doing it for years now. I think this project has got to have at least 7 years behind it. I encourage you to take a look at the video. It's really cool. It's a little creepy, but what you see is you see this dystopian future where maybe you don't have power, maybe you don't have networks, but you have this library of glass. And all you have to do is get one of these little robots to work, and it will be able to sort out the secrets of the universe for you. That little robot, battery powered, is what allows you to select the glass. And then it's brought to a reader. I wonder if in the future, a little robot that can select glass will be the reader. So that's what you would do, is you would have a device. You'd need one device that functions, and you could set it loose on a room like this to find all the secrets of the universe. Well, the human recorded secrets of the universe. There'll be 4 of us left living in this room, and we'll have volcanic activity across 90% of the world, and we'll be doing maintenance on these little robots just so we can watch episodes of Friends as we die peacefully into the world.
One of us will be railing against it all.
And that is the San Carlos Computer Club. Does anybody have any recommendations they'd like to make before I bring this meeting to a close? I heard somebody say something.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, hey, Chester.
I was hopeful that we could get better hearing of your conversations with the participants.
I'm really sorry. I think we were just going to have to yell to get better hearing. I've got them on a microphone right here, but I have not been able to do a good job of making it omnidirectional. And I think we're just going to have to continue to play with it. We may be putting it out closer to the group, which means I would be harder to hear, but everyone would be easier to hear.
It would be nice to hear the other people because it does get really disjointed. But it's really nice to hear those people and to know that everybody's there and still kicking and all that stuff.
Well, before I call this to a close, does anyone want to mention books, movies, websites, or applications? Anything can be a recommendation. It just has to be something you think the rest of us might enjoy or get vantage from. And I see Irving's got his hand up. What do you got, Irving?
Well, the best movie this year, so.
Cannot hear a word from Irving.
Irving is saying the best movie he has found so far this year is
The Whale.
The Whale, which is an easy recommendation. I think a lot of us have seen it here. Amazing movie. Shows off Brandon Fraser's acting chops. He really has gone from obscurity back into the limelight as a real performer. How come I can't spell this? The Whale. How did you watch it, Irving? Where did you find it available? On Netflix.
I did have lessons. I might have streaming.
You're not one of these ones that has stopped Netflix. I know a handful of people that are like, nope, this is.
Watch the context is very. But aside from that, like to watch fourth time coming.
No.
It's a standby. It's a great show. Every couple of years we watch the whole series.
I got to say something on that. I had the strangest experience busing back from Phoenix to Guaymas. on a Tufesa, that was one of the movies we watched, was Downton Abbey in Spanish. It's the oddest program I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, you watched the movie on the Tufesa?
Oh yeah.
It actually worked?
Yeah. No, actually the bus I was on was amazing. I had never been on a bus so large. They actually had seating above the chauffeur, above the driver. So like the people that were in the very first seats, they were looking out across the highway, just straight out in front of the highway. The bus driver was down in his own little compartment. You actually had to go through a door to get to where the bus driver was if you needed to. It was really unusual setup. Huge bus. I'd never been on such a big bus.
Was that the Executivo one where it's pretty direct?
You know, no, well, maybe it was. I think we had 3 stops. Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know. I just took the 2:30 bus to Guaymas from Phoenix. Yeah. It was. I took an Uber to Tufesa that cost me $30, and then I took a Tufesa from Phoenix to Guaymas, and that cost me $90. Well, you got to compare it to the Uber fee. Imagine how much that would have cost. Well, do we have any other recommendations before we call this to an end? I don't think I put anything on the list this week. Cheryl, you don't have anything? I'm surprised. You must be enjoying Vegas.
Well, no. The past week, let's see. Last Tuesday, I think we told you guys. Did we talk to you last Tuesday?
I don't remember, just briefly maybe.
I think that was the day we had to go and pick up our new to us car. Because on Monday, we found out that the car that we were bringing to Mexico was going to, the motor wouldn't make it, and it was going to cost us like $10,000 to replace the motor in it, and the car was only going to be worth about 15. Anyway, so we ended up going on Monday afternoon. It's the fastest timeline that we ever bought a car. I think I did tell you because you know.
Yeah, we heard this story last week. So these folks here haven't heard this story, but the folks online have.
So anyway, so we had to go and pick up the car, and so we
see you, Jim.
Picked it up on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we had it back in the shop because we couldn't get some things, and then Thursday we actually drove it, but before we could leave town, we went back in and had them try and figure out what was going on because we couldn't get the cigarette lighter, otherwise known as a power outlet, to work. And anyway, so it was a lot of stuff like that.
See you, Irving. Next Tuesday, I hope.
And then we did end up going down the road, and we had a beep, and it was just this random beep. So we were thinking of calling the car Roadrunner, but instead we finally figured it out by going through the menu and all these things, that what was making the beeping sound. So our technology this week has been involved in trying to make the stupid thing quit beeping at us, and we could drive it down. So.
Well, that's
no watching of TV.
No watching TV.
No reading of books.
I am looking at the time, realizing that I am already late for my next thing. So we've got to call it to a close.
Okay, we'll catch you guys next week.
That's right. We will see you next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Until then, everybody tech on. And look for the messages in case something changes. I'll send out announcements if something changes. Otherwise, we'll be here in Tequilas next Tuesday. Everybody online is gone. This has been Scott Stimson from International.